You know, we got a pretty badass Godzilla.
There's no point in a sequel unless you go deeper, harder, stronger, bigger.
I really want to make a Godzilla film that lives up to the legacy that inspired it.
To keep the things about the original that I loved, while at the same time putting it in this new-looking beast, I get excited when I see him.
It's always scary when you take a character as iconic as Godzilla is and who has the long history that Godzilla has had and put him into a movie that delivers on the scope and scale and fun that modern audiences hope to see in a movie theater. And what was really great about Michael Dougherty's take was his keen understanding for how to make it bigger, how to make it more expansive, how to make it more global, and also how to infuse it with a lot of action.
I had been obsessed with the character, the creature, since I was old enough to walk. I used to draw Godzilla in my grade school Bible, much to the chagrin of my nuns. I've seen every incarnation of the character.
Michael Dougherty is a Godzilla geek and fanatic. It was his obsession as a child.
Can you locate Godzilla?
One of my favorite things about Godzilla is that if you look at sort of the long history of him going back to 1954, you'll see that every filmmaker has put their own stamp on the character, and that includes our movie.
Michael tweaked him with Matt Alsop, who was the creature artist who helped refine the first Godzilla in the previous movie to this.
Gareth's film, 2014, we spent a long time working on Godzilla design, and I really liked what we had. But Mike also had his vision for Godzilla.
I thought Gareth Edwards did a phenomenal job updating Godzilla. At the same time, I just wanted to put my own unique stamp on it. One of the first things that I did was alter his back spikes, because I really loved the spikes from the original film. I thought they're beautifully sculpted, but they also felt like something that nature could have crafted. And so I very simply took a rendering of Godzilla from Gareth's film and just copied and pasted the spikes from the '54 movie onto the back of the modern Godzilla and sent it off to the creature design house and said, it's this. Other than that, we gave him bigger claws because a creature of that size would naturally be a predator.
It's the same Godzilla. The fans will still think he's the same Godzilla. He hasn't changed much, but the super fans will probably notice the small incremental changes we've made just to sort of make him look a little tougher, because the Mutos were a tough enemy. That was just him warming up. That was Godzilla stretching. Like, this time he's really got an enemy to face, and he's bulked up a little bit for it as well.
He's way bigger. This is the biggest I've ever seen Godzilla, height-wise and just solid. You know, he's all muscle.
Is it just me, or has he been working out?
You kidding me? Sarazawa's got that lizard juiced.
So with the new movie, it's really like taking everything that we've learned from that first film with Godzilla and now really getting to play the character to its full potential. And we looked at references of like crocodile and lizard and all sorts of like predators. And then, we looked at people, right? It's like, if, Godzilla faces off another monster, you kind of want this moment to feel like it's a gunslinger moment, right? There's like a look, there's an attitude, he's a bit of a brawler, right? He has like that kind of like aggressive attitude that is not only purely animalistic, but that has like a human side to it.
I thought it was important for the creatures to have a certain amount of human emotion. They shouldn't just be 100% animal. Motion capture is a great way to record the performance of an actor, whether it's their facial expressions or their body language or a combination of the two, and apply it to a digital character. It had to be a sort of perfect combination of human fighting to give it that little extra spark, but also something very feral and animalistic.
You know, for us in visual effects, when we animate those creatures, it's like, well, you know, how do we capture interesting moments, like little accidents or little things that are a bit unexpected? It's all about finding the moments that make a performance interesting.
It's hard to make something as cool as Godzilla cooler. And I think our attempt was to give Godzilla a deeper history and a deeper mythology, and with that personality, to really humanize him and make him a character that we could fall in love with.
I like the idea that Godzilla is older and wiser than we give him credit for. It was important to me that we crafted a story that included moments where we got to see Godzilla's intelligence. I think you can see that when Godzilla bends down to look at a small cluster of human beings on the edge of a submarine.
Nobody move!
There's a moment of recognition there. You can see that he is thinking, he's comprehending, and he's a very curious and intelligent creature.
Godzilla's radiation levels are going through the roof. We got about 12 minutes before he goes thermonuclear.
Atomic Meltdown Godzilla actually has its roots in the old Godzilla films. You know, I think every sequel you're expected to sort of up the ante a little bit. We had to find some new, visually spectacular way to have him defeat King Ghidorah that modern audiences hadn't seen before.
He's using the energy that he feeds off of as a weapon. So essentially, it's Godzilla distilled down to its most powerful essence.
Godzilla's radiation's reaching critical mass. 6 minutes until he blows.
I see that moment as Serizawa's sacrifice realized.
Whatever Serizawa did to Godzilla worked a little too well, because he's about to explode like an atom bomb.
If you watch the film, you'll see that when this sort of radioactive pulse explodes out of his body, there's a trace of Mothra's wing patterns in the energy bubble. It was because of Mothra's death, her sacrifice, that allowed him to become overcharged. So in a lot of ways, it's sort of the perfect symbiotic relationship between him and Mothra. He couldn't possibly defeat King Ghidorah if it wasn't for Mothra's noble self-sacrifice.